The Great Smoky Mountains rise along the border of Tennessee and North Carolina, an ancient, blue-hazed range that anchors the single most visited national park in America. That smoky haze is real and natural. The forest releases a fine organic vapor that settles into the valleys and gives the range its name. This guide treats the trip the way most people actually take it. The park is the headline, with the Tennessee gateway towns as your base. Those gateway towns are Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, sitting just outside the park's northern entrance and packed with their own attractions. The park itself is enormous, covering more than 800 square miles of ridgelines, hardwood forest, and over 800 miles of hiking trails. Elevations climb from around 875 feet in the valleys to roughly 6,600 feet at Kuohai, the peak long known as Klingman's Dome. Getting here is easy by car and awkward by air. The nearest airport sits in Knoxville, about a 45-minute drive from Gatlinburg. Driving distances frame the trip well. Gatlinburg sits about an hour from Knoxville, 3.5 hours from Atlanta, and 4 from Nashville. So, who is this for? Hikers and outdoor travelers get the obvious appeal, but the area works surprisingly well for families too. The real drawback is crowds and traffic. This is the busiest national park in the country, and the Gateway Strip can feel intensely commercial. If bumper-to-bumper traffic past mini golf and pancake houses sounds draining, that tension is the main thing to weigh here. For trip length, 3 to 5 days hits the sweet spot. That gives you 2 full days in the park and time for the towns. A long weekend works if the park is your only goal. A full week rewards anyone wanting deep hikes, plus the Cherokee side in North Carolina. Almost everyone arrives by car, and for good reason. There is no airport at the park and no rail line into the mountains. The closest airport is McGee-Tyson, coded TYS in Knoxville, Tennessee. From there, Gatlinburg is about 45 minutes by road. McGee-Tyson is a mid-sized airport with solid domestic connections. Atlanta and several major hubs offer non-stop flights into Knoxville. For many visitors, driving the whole way makes more sense than flying. The region sits within a day's drive of much of the eastern United States. From Atlanta, plan on roughly 3.5 hours north, up Interstate 75 and then Interstate 40. From Nashville, it is about 3.5 to 4 hours east, running across Interstate 40. From Charlotte, budget around 3.5 hours west, and from Asheville, just 90 minutes. Once you arrive, a car is essentially required. Trailheads, scenic loops, and 2 states' worth of sites are spread across many miles. Economy rental cars run about $45 a day or $280 for a week before the usual taxes and fees. The park charges no entrance fee, which is unusual, but it now requires a paid parking tag for any stop. Those tags run $5 for a day, $15 for a week, or $40 for the year, and cover every vehicle that parks. Fuel is easy to find, and generally cheaper here than in major metro areas, so factor gas into a driving-heavy trip. Parking in the towns is its own consideration. Central Gatlinburg parking runs about $10 a day in the busier lots. The good news is that Gatlinburg itself is walkable once you park and leave the car behind for the day. Its main strip, the Parkway, packs shops, restaurants, and attractions into a compact corridor you can cover on foot. To skip driving in town, the gateway towns run trolley systems. Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge each operate cheap seasonal trolleys. A single trolley ride costs about $2, with an all-day cap around $4, connecting the main attractions and some park access points. Rideshare exists, but is limited and can be slow at peak times. In the mountains and the park, do not count on it. Cell coverage is the bigger catch. Service is spotty to non-existent across much of the park, so download maps before you go. The practical verdict is simple. Rent or bring a car, expect summer traffic on the main roads, and plan around the parking tag. Where you sleep shapes this trip more than almost any other decision because the towns differ sharply in feel and price. The single best base for most first-time visitors is Gatlinburg. It sits right at the park's main entrance and stays walkable. From Gatlinburg, you can reach a trailhead in minutes and still walk to dinner, which is a rare combination in this region. It also sits centrally between the park and Pigeon Forge, so day trips in either direction stay short. The trade-off is price and crowds. Gatlinburg is the most tourist-dense town, and its walkable core comes at a premium in peak season. Hotel rates there reflect the whole region. Budget properties average around $84 a night, with mid-range hotels near $120. Upscale hotels and lodges run about $184 a night, and cabins are their own large market on top of that. Pigeon Forge is the second major base, about 15 minutes north and built around family attractions. This is Dollywood country, a strip of theme parks, dinner shows, and outlet shopping aimed squarely at families. Pigeon Forge tends to offer more rooms and more value than Gatlinburg, but it is not walkable and leans heavily commercial. Sevierville sits a bit further north and trades proximity for lower prices and a quieter, more residential feel. It works well for travelers who do not mind a short drive to everything, in exchange for calmer surroundings and cheaper cabins. For a quieter park experience, look at Townsend on the western side, billed as the peaceful side of the Smokies. Townsend puts you close to Cades Cove without the Gatlinburg bustle, though you give up nightlife and easy dining variety. On the North Carolina side, Bryson City and Cherokee make a good base for the park's quieter southern entrance. That side sees far fewer crowds and centers on the Oconaluftee entrance and the nearby Cherokee cultural sites. Cabin rentals deserve a specific mention because they dominate lodging here even more than hotels do. Whole cabins with mountain views rent widely through the major vacation rental platforms, with a median around $124 a night. For most travelers, the recommendation is straightforward. Base in Gatlinburg for a first trip, or Townsend if quiet and hiking come first. The park is the reason to come, and it rewards both casual driving and serious hiking. Start with the scenic drives if time is short. Newfound Gap Road is the classic introduction, climbing from Gatlinburg over the crest and down into North Carolina. The road tops out at Newfound Gap, where an overlook straddles the state line and marks the highest pass you can drive across. From there, a spur road climbs toward Kuwohai, the highest point in the park, with a paved half-mile walk to a lookout tower. On a clear day, that tower delivers the park's widest panorama, layered ridgelines fading into blue in every direction. Cades Cove is the other essential drive, an 11-mile one-way loop through a broad, historic mountain valley. The loop is the single best place in the park to see wildlife, with frequent black bear, deer, and wild turkey sightings. It also preserves homesteads, churches, and a working gristmill from the valley's 19th century settlers. Plan 2 to 4 hours for Cades Cove, because traffic in the loop crawls whenever wildlife appears, especially in summer. Roaring Fork Motor Nature Trail offers a shorter, denser, scenic drive just minutes outside Gatlinburg, past old cabins and rushing streams. For hikers, the waterfall trails are the headline draw. Laurel Falls is the most popular, a paved 2.5-mile round trip. Grotto Falls rewards a moderate walk with a rare treat, a trail that passes directly behind the falling water. Rainbow Falls and Ramsey Cascades are harder climbs, with Ramsey Cascades ranking as the tallest waterfall in the park. Alum Cave Trail is a favorite for its payoff per mile, climbing past dramatic rock formations toward the flank of Mount LeConte. Mount LeConte itself is a bucket list summit, reachable only on foot and home to a rustic backcountry lodge. Chimney Tops is another iconic hike, short but steep, ending near a set of distinctive rocky pinnacles. One only here experience is the synchronous fireflies, which flash in unison for a couple of weeks in late spring. The Park Service runs a lottery for viewing access at Elkmont each year, so that event requires planning months ahead. Back in the towns, the attractions shift from natural to built, and Gatlinburg's signature move is sending you up the ridges by lift. 3 separate mountaintop parks rise above the downtown strip, each reached by its own aerial ride rather than a drive. Ober Mountain, formerly Ober-Gatlinburg, is the largest, reached by one of the biggest aerial tramways in the country. That tramway climbs from the middle of downtown Gatlinburg up to a full mountain resort spread across the slopes above. Ober is Tennessee's only ski area, and in winter it runs downhill skiing, snowboarding, and snow tubing. The rest of the year it keeps a year-round ice rink, an alpine slide, a mountain coaster, and a scenic chairlift. A small wildlife encounter, an arcade, and mountaintop restaurants round it out, making Ober an easy half-day on its own. The Gatlinburg Skylift Park is the second, an open chairlift that carries you up Crockett Mountain from the parkway. Its centerpiece is the Sky Bridge, the longest pedestrian suspension bridge in North America, with glass panels set into the middle. At the top, the Sky Deck and viewing trails frame the valley, and the whole park glows with lights after dark. Anakista is the third and newest, reached by a gondola or an open-air ranger truck up the mountainside. Up top, it packs a treetop skywalk, dueling zip lines, a single-rail coaster, and a lookout tower onto one summit. Its gardens, shops, and restaurants make it the most polished of the 3, and a strong choice around sunset. All 3 charge separate tickets, and each mountain is its own outing, so most visitors pick 1 or 2 rather than all 3. For a simpler view without the climb, the Gatlinburg Space Needle lifts you to a downtown observation deck right on the parkway. Together, these lifts are why Gatlinburg feels vertical, turning the ridges themselves into the town's headline attractions. Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies anchors the downtown strip and rates among the most popular aquariums in the country. Its shark tunnel and touch tanks make it a reliable rainy day option and a strong pick for families. Gatlinburg also protects a serious craft tradition, with a long arts and crafts loop of independent Appalachian makers just east of town. Pigeon Forge raises the intensity, and Dollywood is its centerpiece, consistently ranked among the best theme parks in the country. Dollywood blends world-class roller coasters with Appalachian crafts, live music, and a large calendar of seasonal festivals. Right beside it, Dollywood Splash Country adds a full water park for the hot summer months. The island in Pigeon Forge is a walkable entertainment complex built around a giant observation wheel and a fountain show. It is free to walk and browse, with paid rides, shops, and restaurants, making it an easy, no-commitment evening. The Titanic Museum, shaped like the ship itself, is a well-regarded attraction with hands-on, story-driven exhibits. Dinner shows are a Pigeon Forge signature, from the Hatfield and McCoy feud to the pirate-themed Pirate's Voyage. On the North Carolina side, the town of Cherokee anchors the park's southern gateway and the region's native heritage. The Museum of the Cherokee People tells that story well, and the Oconaluftee Visitor Center sits just inside the park nearby. The Great Smoky Mountains Railroad in Bryson City runs scenic excursions through river gorges and tunnels, a relaxed half-day trip. Nearby, Deep Creek is a local favorite for easy waterfall walks and summer tubing on a gentle mountain stream. For an underground detour, Tuckaleechee Caverns, near Townsend, ranks among the finest cave systems in the eastern United States. To turn all of this into a plan, here are 3 itineraries for different travelers, starting with the outdoor-focused. For hikers, 2 full days in the park cover the essentials without rushing the best trails. Day 1 starts early at the Alum Cave trailhead by 8, before the lot fills, allowing 4 to 5 hours toward LeConte. Break for a packed lunch on the trail, then take the shorter Laurel Falls walk in the afternoon before an early dinner in Gatlinburg. Day 2 begins with a sunrise, drive to Kuwohi for the summit tower, then a descent toward Cades Cove by late morning. Spend the early afternoon on the Cades Cove Loop with stops at the homesteads, then picnic at the Chimneys area before heading back. For families, the second plan balances a taste of the park with the town attractions the kids came for. Day 1 opens at Dollywood right at 10, giving a full day for coasters, shows, and the craft demonstrations. Grab lunch inside the park, then cool off at Splash Country in the afternoon during summer, or Ripley's Aquarium if it is cold. Day 2 shifts to nature at an easy pace, driving the Cades Cove Loop in the morning to spot deer and bears from the car. After lunch back in town, ride the gondola up to Anakeesta for the treetop walkways and mountain coaster before dinner. For a first-timer with only a couple of days, the third plan hits the signature sites and nothing too strenuous. Day 1 is a scenic loop day, driving Newfound Gap Road across the crest with stops at the overlooks and the Kuohi Tower. Return by mid-afternoon for the Gatlinburg Skylift and its suspension bridge. Then dinner and a moonshine tasting on the strip. Day 2 pairs an easy morning hike to Laurel Falls with an afternoon at the island in Pigeon Forge for the wheel and shops. The food here is comfort-driven Southern Appalachian cooking, and it leans hard into hearty, home-style traditions. This is not a fine dining destination, and that is the point. The strength is generous, satisfying meals rather than culinary innovation. Breakfast is the region's signature meal, and pancake houses are practically a local institution. Gatlinburg alone supports a cluster of long-running pancake and breakfast spots, several dating back decades. The Pancake Pantry, Crockett's Breakfast Camp, and Sawyer's Farmhouse draw steady morning lines for a reason. Expect stacks of buckwheat or buttermilk pancakes, country ham, and biscuits with sorghum syrup on the table. Country ham is a defining local flavor, salt-cured and intensely savory, usually served alongside eggs and biscuits. For dinner, the farmhouse-style family restaurants are the classic move, built around fried chicken and southern sides. The Old Mill in Pigeon Forge and the Applewood Farmhouse are the best known, pairing big portions with a rustic setting. These places lean into Appalachian staples like pinto beans and cornbread, fried apple pies, and stack cake for dessert. Fresh rainbow trout is the local protein worth seeking out, pulled from Appalachian streams and simply pan-fried. For a step up, steakhouses like the Peddler in Gatlinburg handle the higher end of the local dining range. New American spots exist too, with Local Goat in Pigeon Forge a popular pick for a more contemporary menu. Moonshine is the region's signature drink, and the legal distilleries have turned tastings into a full attraction. Old Smoky in Gatlinburg is the biggest name, pouring flights of flavored corn whiskey with live music on site. Local honey and sorghum syrup make the classic edible souvenirs, sold at general stores and roadside stands. On price, this is an affordable food destination overall, with few of the premiums a big city would add. A casual sit-down meal runs about $15 a person, while a mid-range dinner for two lands near $65. The rare fine dining meal tops out around $80 a person, which is the ceiling here rather than the norm. Chain restaurants are heavily represented on the strips, so seek out the independents for the real regional cooking. Breakfast near the hotels is easy, since the pancake houses cluster right along the main corridors in both towns. One practical note: popular breakfast spots and farmhouse dinners fill up fast, so arrive early or expect a wait. For a distinctly local bite, try Cherokee fry bread on the North Carolina side, a soft fried dough with deep roots. The Smokies are an affordable destination by American standards, especially if you avoid the peak season premiums. Costs here break into 3 realistic daily tiers per person, covering lodging, food, activities, and getting around. The budget tier runs about $75 a day per person, and it assumes real discipline. That means a budget motel or hostel bed from $35 to $84, cheap diner meals, and free park hiking as your main activity. The moderate tier lands around $130 a day, the realistic middle for most travelers. That covers a mid-range hotel near $120, a couple of sit-down meals, the parking tag, and one paid attraction. The comfortable tier runs about $200 a day or more and buys a cabin or upscale hotel with room to spare. At that level, you add dinner shows, Dollywood tickets, and guided experiences without watching the total closely. Lodging is the biggest single cost, and it swings hardest with the season and the choice between hotel and cabin. Transport is cheap once the car is covered, with the park's parking tag at just $5 a day, the only recurring fee. Food costs stay moderate, since the region's home-style restaurants rarely push big city prices. The wild card is attractions. Park hiking is free, but Dollywood, dinner shows, and Anarchista add up quickly for a family. A single Dollywood day or a dinner show can run well over $50 a person, so budget those deliberately. The strategy that saves the most money is simple. Lean on the free park and pay selectively for the town attractions. To put that in perspective, a typical day in Great Smoky Mountains runs about $130 versus about $125 in Asheville and $125 in Salt Lake City, right in the middle for the area. Timing matters more here than at most destinations because the seasons reshape both the scenery and the crowds. The two best windows are late spring and mid-autumn, when the weather is mild and the park is at its most striking. Late April through May brings the spring wildflower bloom, mild days, and the year's sunniest weather. Highs then sit in the low 70s Fahrenheit, around 23 Celsius, ideal for long hikes. October's the marquee month when fall foliage sweeps down the mountains and the air turns crisp and clear. October also delivers the driest conditions of the year, averaging the fewest rainy days. The catch is that everyone knows this. October weekends bring the year's heaviest traffic on the park roads. Summer, from June through August, is the peak crowd season and the least comfortable weather. July highs push into the upper 80s Fahrenheit, near 31 Celsius, with high humidity and afternoon thunderstorms. Summer is also when the towns are busiest, so expect full parking lots and slow strips through the day. Its upside is that everything is open, and the water parks and higher elevations offer real relief from the heat. Winter is the quiet season, cold and often beautiful, with the fewest visitors of the year. January highs sit in the mid-40s Fahrenheit, around 7 Celsius, with overnight lows near freezing. Higher roads like the route to Kuohai close for winter, and snow can shut mountain passes on short notice. Winter's payoff is solitude, bare ridge views, and the lowest lodging rates of the year. One event worth timing around is the synchronous firefly display in late May and early June. If foliage is your priority, aim for the middle 2 weeks of October and book lodging months in advance. For the best balance of weather and smaller crowds, late April, May, and September are the shoulder sweet spots. A few practical details will make a Smokies trip smoother, starting with the park itself. The most important is that cell service is unreliable across much of the park and the higher terrain. Download offline maps and your trail routes before you head in, and do not rely on live navigation. Wildlife is the next essential. The park is home to roughly 1,500 black bears, one of the densest populations anywhere. Keep a wide distance, never feed them, and store food securely, since a fed bear becomes a genuine danger. Elevation changes the weather fast. The high peaks can run 10 to 20 degrees cooler than the valleys and far windier. That means packing layers even in summer, because a warm town morning can turn cold on an exposed ridge. On safety more broadly, the towns are low crime and family-oriented, so the real risks here are natural, not criminal. Those natural risks are the ones to respect: sudden storms, slick waterfall rocks, and fast water after heavy rain. For international visitors, the basics are standard United States. The currency is the dollar, and cards are accepted almost everywhere. Tipping follows the American norm of roughly 18 to 20% at sit-down restaurants. Power is the standard American 120 volts with flat 2-prong plugs, so bring an adapter from outside North America. Connectivity in the towns is good, with reliable Wi-Fi and full cell coverage once you leave the park. A local eSIM or a standard United States plan works fine, with 30 days of data running around $40. Packing well matters here, because the terrain and the weather ask more of you than a typical town trip. Start with clothing, where layering is the single most useful strategy across every season. Pack moisture-wicking base layers, a warm mid-layer fleece, a waterproof rain shell, and quick-dry hiking pants. Footwear deserves its own thought, since the trails here are rocky, rooty, and often wet. Bring broken-in hiking boots or trail shoes with real grip, plus wool socks and a comfortable pair for the towns. For gear, a few items make the outdoor days noticeably easier and safer. Carry a day pack, a refillable water bottle, a headlamp, a paper park map, and a portable charger for your phone. Add sun and bug protection, especially for the humid summer months when both really matter. Pack sunscreen, insect repellent, a brimmed hat, and a small first aid kit for the longer hikes. 2 small extras pay off: binoculars for the Cades Cove wildlife, and a rain cover for your pack. Finally, bring a cooler for the car. Picnic areas are everywhere, and packing food saves both money and time. So who should put the Great Smoky Mountains on their list, and who might reasonably skip it? The clearest fit is outdoor travelers and hikers, anyone who wants accessible mountain scenery without a hard journey to reach it. Families are the second strong fit, thanks to the rare mix of a national park sitting right beside theme parks and attractions. Road trippers and scenic drivers also do well here, since some of the best views come from behind the wheel. First-time national park visitors get an easy entry point, with paved overlooks and short trails alongside the harder hikes. The trip is less ideal for travelers seeking solitude and wilderness silence, at least in the popular corridors. It also disappoints anyone hoping for fine dining, nightlife, or a sophisticated urban scene, which is simply not what this is. And if commercial tourist strips genuinely bother you, the Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge sprawl will wear on you. The bottom line is that the Smokies deliver enormous value for a low cost, as long as you accept the crowds. Come in spring or fall, base in Gatlinburg, and split your time between the free park and the paid town attractions. Respect the wildlife, plan around the parking tag, and give yourself at least 3 days to do the place justice. That's our guide to Great Smoky Mountains, Tennessee. Everything mentioned is linked in the description below. If you are planning another trip, we have more guides waiting for you. And if you haven't yet, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks so much for watching.